Hello, 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 my beautiful peeps out there. How you guys doing on this beautiful Saturday? I told you guys, I got something special for you guys for today. Yes, guys, yes, guys. I want to introduce, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I am Poetic Nature, El Gulfport, Mississippi. You know, poet, DJ, everything, all the good stuff. Here to enjoy this conversation.
Right. So, guys, I've been talking to y'all for a long time about this, and I feel like this conversation needs to be talked about. Because I feel, as a woman, I feel a lot of Black men are suffering in silence. And I hope today that we can touch someone out there to at least try to guide them in the right direction, because a lot of times men just don't know what direction to take, and a lot of them are afraid. So, I have a couple questions that I am going to ask Poetic Nature. I'm going to ask him some questions because I feel like a man needs to speak on this. Because as a woman, we really don't know what men actually is going through and what they're thinking. So we're going to get started. And also, I like to dedicate this live to my father, Vincent Brooks, because I knew for a fact that my father was suffering in silence really bad. So I want to dedicate this to my father and to all the men out there right now today that is suffering in silence. I just want you guys to know, just try your hardest to just open up and release what you're feeling inside. So we're going to get started. What it means to suffer in silence. Firstly, endure deep pain or struggling, such as depression. A lot of men out there are dealing with depression. A lot of men are dealing with anxiety. A lot of men are really dealing with trauma and loss. Suffering in silence also involves enduring this pain and struggling. A lot of men feel like they're struggling alone, and they're afraid to open up and share to others what they're feeling inside. So we're gonna, get deep into this conversation because I feel like this conversation needs to be, talked real deep. What causes mental health issues in a man? 1 in 8 men will experience depression. Here are some risk factors that can make men more vulnerable in life. Because men are afraid to be vulnerable. They are. They're afraid. They are just afraid. 1, loneliness, lack of social support. 2, history of alcohol or drug abuse. And the last one that I really feel like this is going to play a big part today in this conversation, childhood trauma and abuse. So, I wrote down a couple things that I feel like, that I feel like men are thinking of this. Maybe I might be wrong. So I'm going to read a couple things. These are things that I think that men say all the time. 1, there's nothing wrong with me.
That's true.
Okay.
That's one that's definitely true.
Okay, I got one.
That's one that's definitely true.
Okay. 2, dragging up old stuff just sounds miserable to them. Like they don't want you to bring up old shit at all.
Well, some. Now I can say not all, because some men have learned to take on accountability.
Okay.
So that goes with accountability. That's one thing that kind of like sways that away from it. So, some men have become more accountable to their actions. So not all will say bringing up old stuff. Some men want to know what they messed up.
Okay.
Some men
Okay. That's what I'm, see, that's what I'm telling y'all. This is gonna be deep. Okay. And 3, my problems are too complicated to fix. Y'all always say that, I feel like.
Well, and with that, now, that's more of a feeling that not just men have, you know,
Okay.
that a lot of people have in general.
Okay.
So that's an in general type of form of a court, you know, when you think like that, you know, because with self-doubt, everybody has self-doubt.
You're right about that.
And
You're right.
doubt is the biggest killer of any dream.
You're right.
Doubt is the biggest killer of any dream, so yeah.
You're right. You're right. Okay, and the last one, I don't want people to judge me.
Now, that one is a very deep one.
You think?
Because there's no denying that.
Right.
No denying that at all. You know, we do things, a lot of times we do things to make sure that other people are satisfied.
Right. True.
So we're thinking like, well, if we don't satisfy them, then they're thinking this way about us.
Right.
You know, some
right.
people will draw their own judgment of you.
Right. And that's where it goes back of people need to stop assuming. Right. You know, people really need to stop assuming, and people really need to understand, you know, you really don't really truly know people. You know, we only know people by what they present to us. So we have to stop really saying that we know people. We need to start saying that we're learning about this.
That's with relationships too. That's
right.
Like relationships. Like a lot of times we go into relationships thinking that we know that person and that we can build this person instead of trying to learn that person. So that's the most important thing about it.
Now we're gonna have to come back now.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do another podcast on relationship. Because you know, I feel like how you feel about that. Right. You know, because everybody can't be, you know, true. You know, and I feel like you're like me in a way of you being honest, you being true to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you have to learn that. I had to learn that myself.
Right, and I did too.
Yeah,
and I'm still learning about myself.
Right, because sometimes we put people before us. We put other people's thoughts and wants before us, and then if we don't react the way they want, then now we feel bad. And it's not our ego.
And then it make us feel guilty that we're doing something wrong. Okay, now we get ready to go deep, guys, because I have like 6 questions that I am getting ready to go real deep. And I am getting ready to give him the floor because I want him to reach out to someone out there, because I'm pretty sure you probably got homeboys.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure you might got uncles, you know, cousins, nephews.
I got a son.
Right, you know, and I feel like
I got a son.
I feel like he gonna go deep on these questions. So guys, get ready.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hey, but before we get started, though, like being that I do have friends, like today I woke up this morning to some bad news, man, and it kind of shook me because now that we're having this conversation about men suffering in silence, you know, I had a best friend that he passed away about a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was my best friend, and his first child, I was, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know, I've been knowing him, like, it's like, just real close. I always been real close to this kid, you know, even though we're grown, everybody have to have a business. But he was a talented young man, very talented, and I would always tell him when I see him, like, man, it's never too late. It's never too late. I mean, when I tell you this guy could sing, just intelligent young man, you wouldn't even think that because of the environment that's around, you know. The environment has a lot to play with. And this morning I got a call that he passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
This right here, you know, and I understand because I understand when they say suffer in silence because somewhere in his mind he probably felt like
right, and you know like he's probably are going to suffer in silence for a minute because that's a lot to take in. You know, I never lost a child. You know, so
well, his mom, because like I said, his father has passed away a year ago, so to lose his first, for him for his first son to be lost too.
Oh,
That mother
okay.
is going through.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
Mother is going through.
Yes,
That's,
yes.
pray for the whole family.
Yes. Well, I'm sending out my prayers to all of you guys, you know, his family, you know.
Chris
and,
Smart, man, love you, bro. Always, man. Long live Chris Smart.
So I'm gonna burn my sage, and we're gonna throw out nothing but positive energy to you guys out there. You know, it might be somebody else that lost someone today. You know, we sending our prayers out to you and your family. So I'm gonna burn my sage like I always do before I start my podcast to just bring in positive, 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 positive energy because I feel like this discussion is gonna be very, very good and very deep. So we're gonna get started. All right. So, do you think you is suffering in silence right now?
You know, and let me sip some this way.
Sip something.
Yes,
I'm gonna sip too. That's deep. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We're going
Right off the bat. Hit me with a good punch.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly and just truthfully and honestly, I do believe. I do believe, and it's times where when I'm saying to myself that, you know, because we are our own worst critic.
Right.
So if we feel like we're not at a certain point of our life, you know, I'm a certain age, so I've had things happen to me recently that knocked me off where I wanted to be in life, where I thought I would be at a certain age. So,
and may I ask, what age are you?
I am 51.
51.
70 baby, raised in 80.
That's what I say. It's never too late to, you know, learn about yourself. You know, don't look at, oh, I'm a certain age, I should already know about. No, that's not true. That's not true.
No. See, I was a kid that grew without my biological father.
Okay.
So right there's a gap of knowing who you are. Because you don't know truly who you are until you know where you come from.
Exactly.
Right. So with that I'm still learning myself because you don't learn until you learn your father. So I'm still learning myself. So when I sit there to myself, I be my worst critic because I know I could have done better. I know I made certain mistakes that I made this move that I know I shouldn't have made, but I thought it would work this way. So you beat yourself up sometimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That causes a level of suffering in silence. You know, like you have different degrees of suffering in silence. It could be relationship-wise, it could be financial-wise, you know what I'm saying? It could even be spiritual-wise.
And see, I was getting ready to ask you that.
Right.
You know, what do you find right now at this moment? What's making you go into that silent suffering right now? Like, what is the main thing that you're fighting with?
Well, I wouldn't even say fighting. Well, I would say fighting, but I'm in battle with.
Battle, okay.
Making me a better me. Making me a better man.
That's good.
So with that, it's on certain things I've set goals that I haven't reached. And like I said, by me being a certain age, I'm like, man, look. You know?
Right.
But then I had to sit back and think that even time wasn't invented. So a lot of times we press against time, and that causes some suffering that you don't even know because now you feel like you're racing against time.
Right.
Feel like you're running out of time.
Right.
You're actually not because time was invented. And even after this life, you know what I'm saying, maybe the things you're learning are better for you to learn for your next life. Or it's the difference between, like I said, passion and purpose.
Right.
See, your passion is for you. Your purpose is for other people. So sometimes you go through things, you think you're suffering, but actually you're going through a lesson for somebody else.
Right.
So when you let it go, then somebody else be like, man, it makes them feel good.
Right. You're so true about that, you know, because a lot of times people don't realize, you know, for me, at a young age, between my 20s and 30, probably like to 42, I really didn't really truly know myself, you know. So I had to go to a place that it was time for me to really learn about myself. Because, you know, a lot of times when you're young like that, your mind is not focusing on really trying to learn about yourself until I feel like once you get older into a certain age, that's when time is really like calm, like slowing down, like for you to get a chance to learn about yourself.
And with that being said, see, take a butterfly for instance.
Mm-hmm.
A butterfly is not born a butterfly.
Correct.
It's born a caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
So then until it goes into certain things like it crawls around, and it feels like, you know what I'm saying, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? So it starts to build. It starts to build. And before you know it, he then covered himself up with stuff he's trying to build.
You're
So
right.
he got time to think about it.
You're right.
And as he's thinking about it, he's evolving. And once he got it, he's able to break out, and he's not the same anymore.
Exactly. You are so
Beautiful.
true.
He's a butterfly.
You are so true.
So it's okay to suffer sometimes, but you got to know what you're suffering from.
And a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of men,
Right.
because this is about men today. I feel like a lot of men really don't truly know what they're suffering.
Right.
You know.
And some suffering is artificial. Some suffering is not something.
You know, and sometimes we put a lot of stuff on ourselves.
Right. Exactly.
And we don't even realize that. Okay. That question number 1 was so deep. But baby, it's going to get deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes,
What age or time in your life did you realize you were suffering in silence?
Well, that was early. I had to say that was early. As a kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you always, like I say, I grew up without
Right.
my biological father. So having other people around
Mm-hmm.
and watching my other friends interact with their father, you know, it weighs on you and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? But when I think back on it, I think about the time I'm like, man, even when you go to school and they have parents' night and people come in and they see them with their parents and
Right.
even, and as an athlete, me coming up as an athlete later on in life, playing football and basketball.
You didn't have that.
Yeah,
that
the extra push and that you see it out there, you're like, man. So not that I resented it either. I didn't resent it, but it was always that why me type of feel.
Right.
Why me? So I think it started young, and I always felt like the black sheep because it was you would see everybody else. My sisters, they knew their father. You know, my brother, they knew their father.
Right.
Everybody knew their father. I never seen.
Right. So, like you saying that it started young, you really didn't understand that you was suffering in silence.
Right, I didn't know. I didn't
Right.
because it'd be
So
time
what-
I beat to myself. You know, so when I think back on it, it'd be time I beat to myself sitting on the hill because country boy, we grew up
Right.
raising hogs and chickens and stuff like that. So when I had to feed the hogs and chickens in the morning, I'd be out there just to myself thinking like, why me and this and that being down, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you know, so why I gotta do this and why this had to be like that. So it starts at an early age. It
Right.
really does.
It does.
And
Right.
you don't even recognize it.
Right. You don't.
Until you get older, you
Until
get back on
you
it.
understand it.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of times people got to realize, you know, we're both around the same age. Growing up, our parents didn't really break things down to explain to us the things that we was feeling inside, you know, the things that we was thinking inside. So it's like you was really confused. You knew, you know, how you was feeling, but you didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Until you got a little older, till you really understand how your life is really, you know, really is and how your family is.
Well, and since you brought up family, see, some suffering is generational.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, some suffering is generational because
We gonna talk about that.
right, because my father, you know what I'm saying, grew up without his father. So I had to learn all this. And so some suffering is generational. So that's why I'm glad I didn't hold resentment.
Right.
And getting to know him,
Right.
it helped me out with the suffering I had before.
So, since you just said that,
Right.
what will you tell a young man out there, an older man, that they just can't not let go of being abandoned by their father? Since you just said that you learn how to let go. So what is the step that you can tell them if they're dealing with that, and that might be the main thing that they're suffering from, is that they felt abandoned by their father?
Well, I put it this way. There's a understanding,
Mm-hmm.
there's an understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an overstanding.
Mm-hmm.
So first you got to understand. You
Right.
got to allow yourself to understand. You got to allow his story to be told. You got to allow your father's story, no matter messed up, I almost cursed.
That's
No matter-
okay.
no matter how
That's
fucked up-
okay. This is adult only. You're feeling it.
And no matter how fucked up it may be, no matter how fucked up your father may have been, you still got to allow his story to be told.
That's right.
Because it's about learning you. So the suffering, you're not going to get out of the suffering until you learn about yourself.
Right.
You don't learn about yourself, you're not going to be able to get out of that suffering.
Right.
In order to learn about yourself, it goes back to that father or whatever figure you had in your life.
Right.
Being there or being present to teach you different.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
show you different. So,
Right.
so I would tell them to allow your father, if he's still around,
Make peace with
make
that.
peace with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And think right
Right.
there. Because this everything that we as a people go through, it's not that it's like we pick up that day. This is something that has been passed on. There's no covering it up.
That's
We
right.
try to cover it up. We say slavery and all this stuff was so long ago, but you got to think about this. If you teach a dog how to go to this place and get this water,
Right.
you can keep going to this place to
Get
this
that water. That's right. We're gonna continue
And
doing
you keep
right
going there to
because
get
that's
this
how
water.
we was taught.
That's how we was taught. So even with religion, a whole lot of it's passed down.
Right.
It's a passed down thing.
Right.
We hold on to it because we were taught that it was right.
Right.
But they didn't know themselves.
Right. Because today we're breaking the curse. We have to break the curse. We have to. We have to break
Definitely.
the curse.
Definitely. I agree. I
Okay.
agree with that.
We're gonna get deeper, y'all. We're gonna get deeper. All right. I know a lot of women wanted me to ask this question. Do you think women?
Hey, one of my friends is trying to Ebony, God, she's a poet.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I want to give
Yeah.
attention to people that's in the question. They may have some questions too, so sometimes I look at that and see. But what up, El? I think I saw Big Craig come in too. So peace, y'all. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh no. You know what? I tell you what. How about you get on your phone and on the live, and you can shout out.
Okay. All right.
So we don't have to like.
Be screaming.
Right. So you can just right. That's what I was trying to do on my tablet.
Okay.
So we can, we're gonna interact with y'all. Okay, we're gonna interact with the crowd, and then also too, guys, if you feel like you want to request that you want to say something, you're welcome to hit the request, and we request you. We'll give you, like a minute or so to say what you got to say. If you have questions for him, so don't be afraid. Step out of your comfort zone and request, especially men. If you got questions or, you're dealing with something, you want answers, don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid.
Yes.
So, the next question. Do you think women or having a relationship plays a part of a man suffering in silence?
In a way, it depends on the maturity level of that man.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the maturity level of that man. Like if he wants something best for that woman, and he's not able to supply it, he really loves that woman, he's gonna go to a corner somewhere. He's gonna sit and he's gonna beat himself up because he's trying to make sure that woman is taken care of. Make sure that woman is right. And as a real man, that's what you want. You want your woman to feel like she don't have to worry about nothing else. That she don't have to look to another man for any type of car fixing, kitchen mopping. You know what I'm saying? She want to be able to ask her man first, and you want to be able to supply that. And if you're not able to do that, and you're a real man, it fucks with you.
Right.
It really fucks.
But I also, on my opinion, as a woman coming from a man, as my father, watching my father suffer, I feel like a lot of men, when they're in a relationship, a lot of times their partner really don't know them. Because I feel like a lot of times they are dealing with issues that they don't know how to express. Because for one thing, men do have a lot of pressure on them. Men do. Because men are providers.
Right, natural.
And men are not going to come home and express of what they're dealing with, outside of the world. And I feel like a lot of times men are afraid to open up to their partner, to let their partner know what they actually are dealing with.
Mm-hmm. That is because it goes back to the part of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think of, you don't want to be judged as if, especially nowadays, you know, some women, it's like, you know, it's not just women, people, period. You know,
Right.
you feel like if they're not being treated or taken care of properly the way that they want to be,
Right.
instead of learning each other, then they're going to go somewhere else.
Right.
They're going to go somewhere else and they're going to find it.
Right. And what is a good thing that you can tell the women out there that are in a relationship or married? What is the key that you feel like women need to back off some that put a lot of pressure on men?
Well, actually,
because sometimes we don't know what y'all thinking.
Well, that's true. But I would say back up, because this is such thing as constructive criticism.
Okay, what I mean by back up, meaning you might be involved with a woman that's always bitching. Just bitching, and she's not actually hearing you, listening to you because she's so busy bitching, and you're trying to call out for help. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen with an open mind and understanding, like everybody don't think the same.
Right.
See, a lot of times women think men are supposed to think like they think, but there's a reason why you're a woman and I am a man. You know,
right.
We're supposed to balance each other out.
Right.
Instead of one side being more dominant than the other, you expect this side of
right. Because women, when we come across with our emotions really bad.
Well,
but men don't express their emotions like we do.
Right, and we don't. I say men don't express their emotions because they haven't learned how to be transparent. You know, you have to learn how to be transparent. You know, everybody can't take constructive criticism. Everybody don't want to know that, hey, they're bad about themselves.
Right.
So, but until you look in the mirror, and
you
know, a lot of people look in the mirror, they just look at the features.
Right.
You know, the feature, they want to fix their hair, but very few look themselves in the eye.
Right.
See, the eyes are the window to the soul. So, you know, if you really want to know yourself, don't look at your hair or how cute you are. Look into your eyes.
Right. And I think a lot of men are afraid to take criticism. You know what I'm saying? I think they feel like they have to stay tough, and you know they can't show no weakness. You know, it's like they feel like people are attacking them. But you got to understand
black man in the mirror.
Right.
So it's black.
But I feel like as a woman and as a man, you should know the difference when a person is coming to you in a very positive way than when a person is coming to you negative. Because a lot of times criticism come from some people that trying to show you in a positive way of what, you know, how you're acting. Like, come on, that's not you.
Right.
You know.
Well, see, you have to think, you have to bring in and play the environment.
Okay.
The environment you've been raised in, what you see all the time, what you listen to, what you bring into your spirit. You know, you got to put all that into perspective as a black man. And then, you know what I'm saying, you got to think about this. He first think the only way he can make it is with basketball. He don't know that he can sing, that he's smart.
Right.
Or and when he put all his energy into that, then when that don't work, then that causes a level of suffering. Right. So the environment you're around, the drug dealers or whatever,
right.
And the people before that, the OGs that don't even have the mind state themselves, and they look up to them, or the celebrities that they see on TV, or, you know, all that comes into play about learning how to take constructive criticism and having to be hard, you know what I'm saying, because the perception is being drawn. Right.
And I feel like, too, men need to learn how to surround themselves with positive people. Yes. They need to stop. They need to break the curse and remove yourself around negative people, because I feel like a lot of men that I see around, they hanging around people that don't have a giggle about themselves. And I feel like sometimes, you know, if you constantly around people like that, I feel like it's going to rub off on you. Then you're going to have those negative thoughts, you know.
You got to think about it like this. What if that's your environment? It's all around you. You know, not that you're a negative person, but whenever you walk outside, it's all you see. You see what I'm saying? It's all you see around you. And that's those are the people that's on your block. Then you go inside and you're watching TV. Right. And that's all you see. You turn on the radio, that's all you listen to.
You're right about that. That is so true.
Right, so you got,
I'm glad. You pointed it out. See? I mean, that is so true.
So you got to think of...
But you got to still regardless of your environment that you're in, you know, because I know a lot of people out there are in bad environments.
Right.
But you still got to continue to have a positive mind and tell yourself you want to do better. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can go into places that you're uncomfortable of, but you're finding yourself around positive people. Does that make any sense?
Well, and it does, but you have to, at first, somewhere in that environment, it has to be a breach of somebody telling you that, hey, this is who you are.
Right.
You remember on The Help, how the lady was telling me the right thing, you was smart.
Right.
You was beautiful.
Right.
You was kind.
Right.
Young black men are not being told that. You know, a lot of black men, especially being raised by their father. Not by their father, but by their mother alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who have a particular type of man. So she dressed her kid like that. Right. So, yes, because the man's absent. So you're missing so much that you dress your kid like that.
Right. And you treat your kids
right.
Like
you say, hey, you cute, you gonna be just like your dad. Or you gonna be a heartbreaker. You know, so you gotta be watching what you speak over.
Right. And do you feel like as you're, you know, being younger, you know, when your mom spoke or whatever, or your aunts or anybody spoke to you, and you know how some of them speak to kids, you know, and say, oh, you're just so bad, you're a badass, you're just dumb, you're just stupid. Do you feel that kids hold on to that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, because you got to think about this. Kids are the most vulnerable thing in the world. They are here to learn first, so they take in everything that you say.
Right.
They take it in. They may not speak on it right there, but they take it in.
Right.
Negative and positive.
Right.
You know?
So, by that being said, if you have small kids that's coming up, please watch the words that you're speaking to your kids.
Right.
Because as me is coming up, that played a part in my life. It did. You know, because I hold on one word that my mom spoke on, and I just hold that on to my life until I realize I'm better than that. That, you know, I'm not that person. You know, so just watch the words that, you know, you speak on your kids. You know, don't tell your kids that they're stupid. Don't tell them that they're dumb. You know, don't speak on your sons like that. You know, don't speak on your sons and say, oh, you're gonna be just like your dad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Since we got on fathers. Okay, so the next question. Do you think that a lot of black men suffer in silence because they didn't have a father figure in their lives?
I said a certain percentage, yeah, a lot, because they haven't learned how to. You got to think about it. They're you know, the majority are taught resentment towards their father. You know, from a kid, your dad ain't shit. You know, this and that. So, so they're gonna think that because, you know what I'm saying, even if your father is giving child support, you know what I'm saying, the mother, as long as she's talking bad about him and he's not there, you know, you go to somewhere, you're going to think that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my mother, I can honestly say, my mother never smoked.
Never spoke bad about your father.
About my father.
And that's good because it gives you an opportunity to learn when you are in the company of your father. I feel like it gives you an opportunity to, you know, learn about your father. That's just like me. You know, even though I didn't have sons, I had two daughters.
Right.
Regardless of what me and their father went through, I never spoke on their dad in a bad way. You know, even if he didn't show up for something, I never did that because I felt that as they get older, they're going to learn about their father. I feel like I didn't want to put bad thoughts about their father in their head because if I kept telling them, oh, your dad ain't shit, your dad this and that, they're going to grow up thinking their daddy ain't shit, you know.
Right, they're going to. So, yeah, I say that a lot of that does play plays a part. But, you know, we have things that come along that help out, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather, you know, he was like a father figure. So I watched how he worked. He did a whole lot of hard work. So that's why I like hard work. Hard work ain't never me, you know what I'm saying? So I watched him like that, but he worked so much. Because I raised by my grandparents.
Right.
I wasn't raised by my mom. Actually, my mom, you know, when she moved back here, she stayed down the street, so I would go down there.
Right,
but at the end,
right.
I'd come back to my grandparents.
Right.
So,
which a lot of young men are raised by their grandparents.
But you got to think about the grandparents nowadays. It's not the same the ones you had back then.
Exactly.
So it's a different era.
They got younger grandparents.
Younger grandparents.
Right.
I know they got nanas and mimis and pop-pops and stuff like that. They don't call themselves grandparents and grandmothers no more.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what will you tell someone out there that is dealing with not having a father figure in their life? And they dealing with that so bad that they're suffering in silence and they can't find a way to move on with their life. They keep letting that make them stuck.
I say pray and meditate. See, you can't do it all by yourself. You gotta understand that we are not just human beings. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We're more than just human beings. You know what I'm saying? We are spiritually endowed people. Right. So we got to pray and meditate. If you want something, you know what I'm saying, from God, He will just read your mind and give it to you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is going to give you what you ask for. Right. So if that's what you truly and really want, you got to speak over yourself. You got to speak it into yourself. That's right. You got to speak it into yourself. Right. You can't allow, like I say, self-doubt is the biggest killer of any dream. Self-doubt is, and it's easy to doubt yourself. It's so easy. We measure ourselves. We measure ourselves to what we see on TV. Right. We measure ourselves to what we say instead of measuring ourselves to what we see in the mirror, because that's what's right there. Right. And what's right now. Right. Right. And I feel like another thing is you spoke on that, and I feel like a lot of men should try it and learn it. Tell them what made you get into meditating. What made me get into meditating? Meditation came as I learned more, as I started to read more about what I wasn't taught. Because we being programmed. Let's believe we are being programmed to run a system that really don't give a damn about us. So and he's not lying. So you got to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes tell parents you got to reprogram their kids when they come to school. Let them know that, hey, what you learn, it ain't all about, that ain't it about life, because they really wanted us to be who we are. They would teach us financials. They would teach us more the real stuff about life instead of this. That's right. That's right. But I would say that just allow you, what made me go to meditation was just learning more, become more spiritually inclined, I think one of the first books I started to read was The Great Seal of the United States. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I should be saying this, but that book right there started. It was about how the system was being ran, and then I read a book called Message to the Black Man. You know what? I've heard a lot of guys that I have talked to that stated that they was lost in life, because you do get in a point in your life that sometimes you feel lost. You're trying to understand yourself. You're trying to understand your purpose. And I did hear a lot of, men do, mention about that book. Because I had a homeboy friend or whatever that I feel like, he's in that rough, like that moment. And I mentioned about that book, of getting him that book, because I heard a lot of good, reviews, and especially, I love Nipsey Hussle. Oh yeah. And he talked about that. Oh yeah. He is so deep. Well, a lot of times, see, we take on the fact that the Bible and other stuff that happened back then stopped then. Right. See, but the Most High never stopped sending prophets. He never stopped sending teachers. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at these people, some of these people that's giving us positive, no matter if they come from the gutter. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about who they say Jesus walked with. You know what I'm saying? If there was such a guy named Jesus, walked with the killers and the thieves, so that means he was in the hood.
Right.
So you can't judge the ones that's in the hood and say they can't be the ones that teach us and show us a different way.
That's right.
Those are the ones who will get to you because they tell you they've been through it they damn self.
Right. That's right.
Right. So you got that's what you should learn from. Not the people that just think they know, but the people who've been through it.
Right. That's right.
You know, so that's how I feel like we as a people can go better that way. You know what I'm saying? That stops a lot of suffering because you'll get more understanding on the community basis.
Right. Right.
So that's the thing about it. We've lost the concept of a village.
Right.
Community, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We lost the concept of a village. Now we're losing the concept of a community.
Right.
Which is communication and unity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I feel like too, you know, if you have, you know, an idea out there as a, you know, Black man, if you have an idea that you want to help kids or even, you know, start off helping one or two, you know, little young men that you feel like they're going in the wrong direction, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, step out on faith and try to help that person, you know, help that because I feel like a lot of young men, Black men out here, they're lost in this world. They're so confused because they don't have that person to come to. Right.
I was born.
Right.
I'm gonna share this story.
Go ahead.
Let me share this story. You know what I'm saying? It was my life. You know what I'm saying? I a lot of people, you know, thought it was just quiet.
Right.
But on the other side, the alter ego was somebody totally different. I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You would see me. I would work jobs, you know, dressed up. You know what I'm saying? Driving a beer truck, whatever. But when I get home, I'm somebody else. I'm somebody else, and I'm what I thought was the real me. So I never forget. You know,
wait a minute. I don't mean to stop you, but go back and say what you just said. You thought that was what?
The real me.
Okay.
I thought that was the real me.
Okay.
But it wasn't. So I was in the streets, making money in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go all the way into that.
Right.
But it was and I had my son yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was staying in Atlanta. So I remember my son's mom calling me and telling me that she was pregnant.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll handle it when I get there. I'll handle it when I get back. So, and I had people that worked for me in the street that was like, we out product, we need this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I figured while I'm there, I can go handle my business and just talk to my son mother. I would say baby mom, my son mother.
Right.
About what's going on. So I got there and I told her I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And on my process of going to handle business after I told her I'll be back, God was like, the Most High was like, hey, I'm going to set you down. So on the way there, I'm driving, I get pulled over, you know, to catch a lot of money, whatever, you know what I'm saying, however, whatever. Get locked up and, you know what I'm saying, and now I'm going through a whole different transition. Now it's like, hey, you over here, you gotta do this, you know.
Right, because God is telling you, hold up. You have a person
about to be born.
But that's about to be born, but you're not getting it. So let me give you a moment to let you reflect.
Right.
And get into yourself.
Right.
Because it's time for you to learn about yourself.
Right. Time for you to learn about myself. So in the process of doing that, I get pulled over, like I say, process of all that when you get caught up. Lose everything. When I say everything. Everything. Except for that thought of I'm about to have a child.
Right.
And I knew it was going to be a boy. That's what's crazy. I knew it was going to be a boy. I already knew because when I was there, that's a different story. I won't go into that. When I was there, God told me it's going to be a son.
Oh.
So my son was the beginning of me changing my life. So by me not having that suffering that I had to do, not having a father, I said I would not give my son that same suffering. So regardless of how me and his mom was going through, how we was trying to work it out, whatever.
Right.
I knew that I was not going to let him go through that same type of suffering. So things happened to where I could went back to what I was doing.
Right.
I could went back there because I'm not no person. I would tell where I got it from. Right.
Right.
That's not what it's about. I'm gonna take this on the chin. I'm gonna spend my time, do my time. however it got to be done. But I'm gonna be there for this. I'm gonna be there for him.
Right.
So in doing that, I learned a lot about myself. Then, not only then, I'm like, wow, I'm a father.
Right.
When he was born, he knew my voice. He grabbed my pinky finger. I saw him before his mom did. Nah, I saw it before she did.
You hear that, Robin? He talking shit, Robin.
I saw him, and he grabbed my pinky, and don't you know, when he grabbed my finger, the tears that flowed from my eyes at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Me and his Mr. Alex. Mr. Alex was there too.
Okay.
Mr. Alex, well, he was there too. Me and him saw it first. So I'm talking about, and when I call him, I'm just crying because now I have a reason. I have purpose. You know?
It's so crazy
Yeah.
how these questions that I'm asking you,
Mm-hmm.
you speak on it, and I'm going to ask you. So this question is deep.
Okay, all right.
You might need a drink for this.
I'm gonna take one. Definitely gonna take one.
You need a drink for this.
Hey, you gotta be transparent, man.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
As a father
Okay.
of a son,
Mm-hmm.
what steps are you taking to break the curse?
The steps I'm taking, well, I'll tell you what. One of the first steps is my father never knew his father's father.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew my father's father.
Mm-hmm.
But my son knew my father knew his grandfather. So that's one of them.
That's one curse
Yeah, the other one, the very first one
that he broke.
The one of the first ones is just being there. Being there so he can have somebody to not just look up to that's gonna give him knowledge of what not to do. I'm gonna let you live your life, but I'm gonna tell you first, and I'm gonna let you go bump your head.
Right.
After you bump your head, you can come back to me.
Right.
And then I can help you, you know what I'm saying, to teach you what that is, you know what I'm saying? My son actually helped me out to the point where I don't know how many kids were suffering like that until I became, my son is the reason I became a coach. I wanted to coach him. And they coached him, I saw there was kids that like, I look in the stands, no father. You know, at practice, there'd be no father. No, at the games, there'd be no father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in doing it, I fell in love with interacting with these kids and you know what I'm saying, helping them, you know what I'm saying, have confidence in themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to build confidence in kids nowadays. You don't want to tear them down.
Right. Exactly.
They're going to mess up. Sometimes we forget that we were kids at one time.
We do.
We forget that we were kids at one time.
That.
We forget about how we used to sneak bologna up on us.
Right.
We forget about all that. But when our kids do, we act like they committed the worst crime in the world.
Right. So how do you feel like, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of black men out there that do not have relationships with their sons or don't have a relationship with their kids? You know, what will you give them? What advice will you give them to at least make the first step?
Well, see, a lot of times it be that hurt that they have, it be that suffering that they have long before that they have a kid.
Right.
They have to first let that go.
Right.
And understand that you got somebody depending on you.
That's right. That's
and
looking
really
up to you,
depending on you. No matter if you've been there or not, they say if you say, "Oh, my daddy coming,"
right?
My daddy. Oh, if your mother hasn't already implemented that seed,
right.
Oh, your dad ain't shit, you know.
Right.
But if you know what I'm saying, if you are one like I was, you know, I remember your father. What? I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see you. You know, I can't wait to hear his voice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. Let go of that past hurt of your father not being there. Understand that you're taking your kid through the same thing you went through. And so they got to break that curse. You got to allow them, give your child a chance.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you. Give your child a chance.
Right. So
it ain't about you no more. It ain't about that person. It ain't about you no more. Once you have a kid, it's not about you no more as a man.
And people forget about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You I have a poem sometimes I spit. It's like
spit that poem. But before you spit that poem,
right.
I have a deep question for you.
All right. I'm with that.
What do your son, and I want you to tell them your son's name. What do your son mean to you?
Ooh, my son name is Taylor. Taylor Alexander Torres. Had to get my name there sometime.
Right.
What do?
If your son is looking at this right now, tell your son right now, as you're looking in the camera, what your son means to you.
Man, I tell him all the time. That's the thing about it. I tell him all the time when we talk. Whenever we talk, he means the world to me. I tell him, son, you changed my life. You helped me become the man that I needed to be. You started that transition in my life. And I thank God for you. I'm so grateful for you. I love you with both my hearts. You know what I'm saying? The one now and the one whenever, you know what I'm saying? It's just the amount of love I have for my son is insurmountable. You know what I'm saying? It's no way you can measure the amount of love I have for my son. You know, I hear people, I watch how people interact with their son sometimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My son, it means the world to me. And as a man, you know, being transparent as a man, I going through what I was going through, I didn't allow the relationship that me and his mother had
Right.
to blossom as it should have. But sometimes that's for a reason.
Right.
Everything happens for a reason.
Correct.
Everything happens for a reason. So because she ended up finding the man that she needed in her life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe I wasn't the man that
Right.
she needed in her life. She ended up finding the man that she needed.
And that is
in her
so
life.
true.
So, but at the same time, she's a great mother to my son. I'm a great father. So we interact as mother and father on the same level. I do not question how she because he stays with her. So I do not question the discipline. You know what I'm saying? And especially not in front of him.
Exactly.
If anything, like we'll talk later, like, hey, this and that, this and that. You know,
Right.
but I would not correct her in front of him. Like
that's right. That's true.
So I'm not going to come back and argue.
And that's being a real man.
Yeah, we did that before.
Right.
We did that before. We did arguing.
Right, because y'all both was learning as being a parent.
Her first child, my first child.
Right.
So it's a lot of learning I had to do, and I wouldn't have learned that if I had not had a son.
Right.
You know, so even now, having a son and wanting to do these things, and you know what I'm saying, having a woman that I want to build with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, having a woman that I want to build with pushes me.
Right.
To even be better. So to show my son that, hey, your father can love a woman. I may not show you this with your mother,
but I can
show you with this woman.
Right. That is so true. So do you think that your son is suffering in silence anyway?
Well, I think we all go through that stage when we do.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to get to him is let him know that it's okay to talk about it.
Right.
It's okay to talk to me about it, talk to your mom about it, because he's a Capricorn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They hold stuff in, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when they lash out, they lash out.
Right.
And I tell him not to never react out of your emotions, because your emotions are never meant to guide you.
Right.
They're only meant to measure how mature you are.
Right. Right.
So a lot of people react out of emotions. And by him being there with his mom, women are emotional creatures. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm thankful for his stepfather.
Right. Which I know is stepfather, right? He's a very, very good
So, you know what I'm saying? So everything happens for a reason.
Right.
As a man, you got to learn how to grow and accept that. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of growth. You know what I'm saying? Understanding and all that. Understanding, overstanding, all that.
Right. Because I must say, my husband has a son, Desmond, and I love the relationship that my husband and his son have. In the beginning, like you say, it was rocky because, just as he's growing up, he's only going by what his mom is telling him. But as he had a relationship and got to know his father, their relationship is beautiful. I love it. I love the way he plays a big part in his son's life. I really do love it. Okay, so now we're going to open it up to questions. I have a couple questions that, a couple guys have DM me, you know, I'm not going to say their names or anything like that, that they have a couple questions that they wanted, you know, that the reason why they're afraid to, you know, speak out on it or whatever. So I'm going to let Poet Natural to go ahead and read a couple questions off his page, and we're going to try to answer some questions. And also, too, if you feel like you want to come on to ask a question, you're welcome to do that. Just hit that little request, and we will request you to ask a couple questions that, you know, y'all want to ask.
Well, I don't have any questions. I have some statements.
Okay, so yeah, you can shout out. He's going to shout out a couple people, and then on mine, I'm going to shout out a couple people also.
Well, first response was from Pam. Look at my sister. She said,
hello, Pam. How are you doing?
Said,
welcome.
She said, always speak greatness over your kids. Always speak greatness over your kids. That's right.
That's true. That is so true.
What up, Tonio? I see you, cuz. Ebony Brad, Ebony the Goddess, awesome poet. She said, kids are sponges. That is true.
That's true.
That is so true. You going down some more. Then she said something else here.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. She also said that women can only instill their idea of what a man is. And that idea is typically shaped by their interactions with men.
Mm.
That is, yes.
That is deep.
That is definitely.
That is deep. That is deep. That
is
is so deep. That is a real deep.
Yeah,
deep.
that is definitely deep. That is definitely deep. But yeah, pretty much of respect, and you know, people just never spoke a bad word. She never spoke a bad word about her daughter's father.
Right.
For that reason, yeah.
Right. And that's another thing, you know. I don't know what type of situation that you find yourself in with your kid's father, you know, and all I'm just going to say is that try your hardest a practice of stop speaking bad on their father.
Right.
Because as they grow up, they're going to learn about their father. Trust me.
Right.
They're going to know about their father. So try your hardest to stop speaking on, you know, their father. You know, try to stop doing that, you know, because you don't realize how much that affects kids, especially young men. You know, you don't realize that. Okay. So the question that I had got from a couple of guys, first thing they said, growing up, I never had anyone to open up to. I literally never learned how, you know, how to, I guess he's trying to say how to express his feelings, or he really didn't know, you know.
It was okay.
Right. It was okay because he was so used, I guess he's saying that he was so used to, which men are, feel like, you know, if you fall down, get up, suck it up, don't you cry. Don't you show no tears. That's weak, you know, and you hear your parents saying, you're a little punk ass, stop crying, you know, so what advice will you give him that, you know, how can he go about expressing how he feels?
I would say talk to God first.
Right.
Talk to the Most High first. And see, and by doing that, what you allow yourself to do, you allow yourself to let it go because you're talking about it.
Right.
And he's not going to judge you. Now, I said somebody else may judge you. So if that's what you're afraid of first, until you learn how to be transparent, talk to God first.
Right.
Until you learn how to be transparent, talk to God first.
Right.
So once you talk to God, and then he's going to give you the ability to open up to, because you open up to the people that are closest to you.
Right. Right.
You just don't, you know, some people open up to strangers, but that's after they have learned how to open up.
Right. Right. Right.
You know, they ain't afraid to tell their story anymore.
Right.
So I say first, talk to the Most High. Talk to God first, because you know, just he can fix your problem. Man can't fix your problem.
Right.
We think they can sometimes. It's okay to have a therapist to tell you what direction to go to.
But
never rule out God. Never rule him out.
Right. So a lot of men probably are in a relationship, or, you know, feel like it's hard for them to come to their partner or their friend or whatever to speak, because a lot of times people shut people down.
And it's only because we put expectations on ourselves that we can
Right.
achieve.
Right.
We put those expectations. We told that woman that we strong. You got your strong man, but that moment of weakness, you don't want to show it to her because you already told her that I'm a strong man, baby.
Right.
I can handle this. You ain't messing with no punk. You ain't gonna do. I'm a strong man. So in that moment that you're gonna go through it, can't go to her because now you feel vulnerable.
Right.
See, vulnerability is something that we don't address.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Vulnerability can have you in the wrong relationship as a man because you're so used to thinking that a woman is the one that being vulnerable, but men, we be vulnerable too.
Right.
We just don't realize it. We don't, and then if we do realize it, we don't want to own up to it.
Right. 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 Okay, and the next question, it says, what be even the worse than suffering in silence is being rejected by others.
I think suffering in silence is more detrimental to you than being rejected by others because that comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always meet somebody that can make you smile and make you feel a certain type of way. So being rejected by one person may hurt just for a minute, but suffering, man, suffering can last a long time. Especially if you're not able to just let it go a little bit. Discuss it with people. So it's more detrimental than being rejected. You be rejected, man. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes rejection is just, I look at rejection and everybody don't think the same. And first of all, let me make that disclaimer.
Everybody.
I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional.
I'm just this is our opinion and our opinion only.
Right. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. You gotta allow yourself. To be. Sometimes you gotta allow yourself to be vulnerable. Right.
Okay, and the last one, someone, and I quote, I am so scared that if I did open up, I'll be judged and people would think less of me.
Well, the key phrase in that is simple. People would think. See, that right there shouldn't even be in your thought process. What people think about you.
But a lot of times people still haven't. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you take people's opinion to heart? Like, do you take
people's opinion if it's
like
not,
you let it sit on your back and you're focusing on their opinion? No, because I feel like it's good opinions and bad opinions.
Well, it's how it's perception, like being able to take constructive criticism. So some opinions are meant to build you. And some opinions are just what they are, just opinions.
That's right.
So you can't, you know what I'm saying? And this had to be, ain't something that I always had. It's something I had to learn.
You hear that? You have to learn. You have to have.
It was time. Well, yeah. What I thought, you know what I'm saying? I better put this on somebody. If it's not Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might see this. It's not my Gucci, but no damn well they can't even see it because from a certain color. So we sue. It's a self-conscious type of thing. Right. So you gotta think past the self-consciousness of what people think. Right. Because the only thing I have a saying that when people say matter of fact, that's a big saying. Matter of fact, I say the only fact that really matters is you. That's it. The only fact that really matters is you. So
y'all hear that, right?
For real.
Remember that.
Yeah, when people say matter of fact, no. The only fact that really matters is what you think of yourself.
That's right.
How you feel about yourself.
Because I talked about that on my podcast about changing your mindset. You have to start speaking on yourself in a positive way. Stop speaking on yourself in a negative way. Stop saying things that, if you got in your mind program that you're a fucked up person, you're gonna continue thinking that you're a fucked up person. You gotta change your mindset.
And a lot of times mindset is simple words. See, because a lot of times we say, let me tell you what's one that's negative, and we don't even know it. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to make it. You gotta take trying out. You gotta take trying, and I can't. You gotta take those out.
You hear that?
I'm trying. Well, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying. No, I am. Speak that over yourself. I am doing this. I am that person you see. I used to do that. People like, oh,
Me
man,
too.
Man, you got that. They're like, nah,
I'm trying.
Yeah, no, like, okay, appreciate it.
Because like when people say, oh, how you doing? Girl, I'm trying to make it in life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm making it. Thank you.
Right. I'm making it in life.
I'm making it.
Right. We have to change our words.
Yeah.
You know, we have to put words in our mouth positive. You know, especially speak positive for yourself. Because you gotta change that negative mind thought, you know, because we gotta break the curse. You know, you got to learn how to break the curse.
Healing. It's all about healing.
It's healing.
It is time for.
And I think a lot of men is not ready to heal.
They don't know how to. See, you
Right.
you can't heal until you know how to heal. You know, if you don't know how to heal, then you're not going to heal.
How about you give someone advice out there that's trying to heal their self, but they don't know what step to take?
Stop looking at that scar as if it's still,
Talk to them.
Stop looking at that scar as if it's still bleeding or if it's still doing that. If it's had healed, then that means you are able to heal yourself. So stop looking at everything as a scar that will always be bleeding.
And stop making excuses and bring your trauma. You keep using excuses with your trauma.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people in this world making excuses from their trauma. You got to heal from those things.
You got to. I mean,
only way you
not
look
easy.
right. It's not.
Easy. Got no how.
But you got to take steps.
It's a step. Every even when we think we have healed, there's always something that's going to scar us to make us have to heal again. The thing about it is you can't be afraid of being scarred. You got to understand that no matter if I'm scarred, I can always heal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I noticed myself that it's one thing that I'm trying to heal from, and it's very hard. And I feel that is the biggest trigger for me because I'm thinking I'm healing, but I go back to it.
Well, that's like,
and it feel like it triggers me to go back into that hurtful feeling.
Well, women have triggers. Women triggers are faster than men.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about women trigger tai chi. Right. I'm talking about that. They triggers
quick. And especially with me, you know, that's why I don't drink liquor. I am a beer girl. I am a beer drinker. Because I feel like me, if I get on some liquor,
right,
that would trigger me so bad.
Well,
it'll put me in that like.
Well, that's the thing about learning how to those emotions.
Right,
and
I'm learning. I'm practicing
emotions
that.
Emotions, sometimes we don't even realize how we react, how fast we react out of emotions. But no matter how you try to train yourself to do it, it's always going to be that emotion. You can be driving, somebody cut you off. You motherfucker, you. That was emotion. That was a quick emotion. You reacted out of it.
And we got to practice that.
I mean, the best thing in life is peace. Practice peace.
Peace.
You know, don't practice what you're trying not to because you're giving that energy. You know what I'm saying? Don't practice that. Don't try to practice peace. Practice what you're trying to get.
Right.
Not what you're trying to get away from.
Right.
Because if you practice what you're trying to get away from, you're giving it energy. And it's going to be around. It's going to be around. So practice peace. Practice peace.
You know, and that's my biggest thing that, you know, I feel like I'm a very, very humble person. You know, and I try to go through any situation in a peaceful situation. I try not to allow myself to, you know, step out of that negative energy. You know, sometimes, you know, like I say, I do have a little trigger that I'm working on to not put me in that place because I feel like me personally, when I get into that place like that, that negative energy, I don't do well.
No, you never will. You don't do well.
You know, some people, it don't even phase them. Like, it don't even fuck them up.
Because
but me,
they live on a lower vibration.
Because me, it's like, oh my God, I got to burn my stage, Lord. I got to burn my stage, Lord.
See, you got to understand, like I said, it's things that we should practice that we wasn't taught.
Right.
And like I said, learning about George Washington, you know, all these people, you know what I'm saying, all this, you should be learning about, you know, say learning about your chakras.
Right.
Root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, the heart chakra.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And understanding that creates balance. Because you start looking into what does the root chakra tell me? And am I vibrating at a lower vibration of my root chakra?
Right.
Or am I driven by my sacrals?
Right.
Sexual? Am I driven by my sexual emotions and stuff like that? Or you know what I'm saying? With your solar plexus, is this my self-confidence? Is it up? Or is it, am I doubting myself a lot? You know what I'm saying? All these stuff have to be unblocked. You can block those things, you know what I'm saying? That causes suffering. Because that's maybe, you know what I'm saying? That maybe your chakra may be blocked. I mean, certain exercise you can do to unblock that.
So you're not afraid for those emotions to come out.
Right. That's the only way you're going to be aligned, because you got to allow everything
to come out.
You got to deal with it. You got to deal with your, say if it's your solar plexus, your self-confidence, you got to learn how to build your self-confidence. And once you got everything in line, then you become a better person.
Right.
The overstanding begins.
Right.
That's why I say you have understanding, understanding, and overstanding.
Right, right. I'm going to read a couple questions. Is it Cornella? Excuse me, Brown. I would not allow anyone to disturb my peace. That is so true. But sometimes people will catch you off guard. Off guard sometimes. People will catch you, off guard.
Yeah,
and
but that's a good mind state to have.
Right. Because you're going into a positive and you're telling yourself, I'm not going to allow anybody. That's right.
I'm going to keep my peace.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And let me read some more comments before, let's see. Marisha, what's up, Marisha? Absolutely do hold on. Your words have so much power. You're so true. That's why I say
words do have power.
Words have a lot of power, and you can't you can't take that. You can't take it back.
Well, yeah, that's one thing when you spit it out there. That's why you got to be calm. You got to think before you. See, a lot of times we speak without thinking. That's not as we react out of emotion, just speaking without thinking. Think first and then speak. But
I have learned that I speak my truth.
It's a good thing.
I used to sugarcoat shit to be on their level.
Let me interrupt you. Let me tell you about when you sugarcoat shit.
Tell me.
Sugar milk. That shit always be.
So I try, I go, whoop, see, listen what I said.
Yeah, you said it.
I said it. See what I said? I try. See, that's something that I got to break. I do speak on the truth when I have to speak on something that, I just got to be honest. And a lot of times people can't handle the truth.
No.
A lot of times people can't handle the truth. But if I'm going to speak on it, I'm going to speak on the truth. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You don't have to question. You don't have to assume. Because that's a lot of times people mess up.
You assume.
When you assume.
That old saying, when you assume, that make an ass out of you and me.
That's right.
That is true.
And then you get confusion and you never know. You start speaking to each other because you assume something and they assume something, and all along you don't know what each other thinking.
But clarity is the most important thing. Clarity, have clarity. That's with anything.
Right. You have to. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say it.
That's so true. Miss Brown, you is girl.
Let's plug this up with the phone.
Go ahead. That is so true. Okay. So my last question. What advice will you give someone that is suffering in silence right now today?
Like I said, conversate with the Most High. Take that time in silence, not to suffer, but to talk to the Most High for you can get some clarity and understanding why you feel like you feel. See, a lot of times we go to God and we asking Him for things that's material.
Right, we're asking for the wrong.
We're asking for the wrong things. We're asking for stuff that other people can see.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying, asking for the peace of mind. You know, when you go to the Most High, asking for peace of mind first. Not for that car. You get that car, but you're going to bring you peace of mind. Peace of mind is the most important
thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people live in their life through materialistic things, you know, feeling like they have to have big things in their life, you know, to make their life complete. But it don't work like that.
See, I say asking for peace of mind because in peace, there is no suffering.
That's right.
So in the car, that's suffering. All kind of shit can happen in the car.
Right.
All kind of shit can happen with money.
Right.
You know, all the other stuff we asking for. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. Even with praying for your family members and all, you can pray for them and then, you know what I'm saying, and then, you know what I'm saying, not to talk bad, but they say God can take them away.
They can.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So you gotta pray for peace.
Right.
And with peace comes understanding.
Right.
So then you will understand that God take that person away. You know what I'm saying? You know that they have peace.
They have peace.
You know what I'm saying? So the peace of mind is the most, that's what you ask for. Instead of in silence, when you're in that silent point, asking for peace.
Right. And also too, I want you to tell, you know, Black men out there that it's nothing wrong of having a moment to yourself of quietness.
It's nothing wrong.
Because a lot of them are afraid of that.
Man, there's nothing wrong with looking in the mirror and breaking down in tears. I did it the other morning. I'm telling you the honest God truth. I did it the other morning. I looked, man.
What you do the
other morning? Shit,
Speak it.
I broke down in tears because, you know, like I said, I put this, I not to say I put it, but I know where I want to be in life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep pushing. And there's been things that happen sometimes that, you know, even if you make it through it, you know, you still thinking about it. So sometimes those tears are to release that.
Right.
So it's okay. It's okay to cry in the dark. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to cry. It's okay. It's okay to cry in the dark. It's not you're not suffering. You're releasing that.
Right. Right.
You hold on to that, man. That eat you up. You hold on to it. You better let that shit go.
Let it go.
Let that shit go.
Let it go.
Let it go, man.
And tell them out there.
Yeah,
just because you cry, that doesn't make you weak.
Don't make you weak. That means you're going through. You're having a moment. There's a moment is temporary. A moment is a second. A moment is it's not long. You know, it's a saying that trouble don't last always.
Right.
That's a true thing. So we can go through something and we think that trouble right there for the last for the rest of the year. Right. That's one of the things of why we suffer. Because you're gonna go through things, but don't allow that what you're going through to weigh on you forever.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? That's something like they say. That's the reason why Erykah Badu made the song Bag Lady. You know what I'm saying? They just speaking of women, men have baggage too.
Exactly.
Yeah, baggage
Say
too.
it again.
Men have baggage too. Shit, we have baggage. Sometimes our bags be duffel bags.
But you know, a lot of women feel like because men present themselves that you're not going through anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the.
So women think that y'all don't have baggage. They're looking at the negative baggage.
Well, the thing is because a lot of men think that if I tell this woman that I'm going through something, she finna go the other way.
Yeah.
Because women are tired of men with baggage. Right. And even though you may be somebody that's coming out of it, and may be the man for that woman, that'd be her fault if she walks away from her man. Right. Sometimes your man ain't gonna be that man that you grew up.
Right.
In your mind, he's gonna be that man that y'all can build together.
Right. But as a woman point of view, a lot of men don't stand by their word.
That's true. That is.
A lot of men will tell their partner or their girlfriend that they want to change. They'll do it for a week or two or a month, but they go back to their old ways.
Because they're still suffering.
Right. But men, you got to learn how to stand by your word.
Yes.
If you want things different and you trying to be a better person, stand by your word. Because a lot of times as women, we lose hope on a man because it's like, how many times are you going to tell me you're going to do better? You're going to change, but you're still not doing the work.
And that's because, like I say, he hasn't dealt with that suffering part of it. So when you're not having dealt with something, you know what I'm saying?
Because they're going to realize that, I'm going to let you finish, but it's just on my thought. They're going to realize that a lot of men lose good women by that. They do.
Lord, let me tell you something. And I know for a fact that I have before. real, because I wasn't holding up to what I was saying.
Right.
That has happened.
Right.
And boy, when that happens, especially if you care about that woman, ooh,
and that's why a lot of men will find themselves going into a depression state.
Right.
Because they realize.
Right. It's a true thing. It's a true saying. Like, you don't miss your water till your well will dry. I mean, you want just a drop.
That's right.
And you can't even get a drop. Ain't nothing but dust coming out.
That's right.
But it's the truth. You
You
don't. But the thing about that is, you don't take it as if every woman is the same. Or you got to take accountability for what you done.
Your part.
You got to take accountability for your part. Not say, oh, she let it down. No, what did you do? Did you try to correct that? Or did you try to, you know what I'm saying? Only thing you can do is pray for a second chance. Right. And hope that God answers. But in the meantime, what you do is you build yourself up. You get ready for that suffering. You build yourself up to be the person that you see. You know what I'm saying? Not the person that the world wants you to be. Right. But the person that when you look in that mirror and you know you can be. Right. Right. You know you can be that. You know what I'm saying? Every man has a drive want to be a provider. Every man is not just want to be a deadbeat. Right. You know what I'm saying? Some men are forced into that situation. Right. But their problem is they allow themselves to stay there. Right. Right. By allowing yourself to stay there. Right. If you're able to breathe, then you're able to leave your situation. Right. Right. And you know, as a woman, you know, I'm just gonna state this. If you feel like your partner is suffering in silence, uplift that person. Yeah. You know, try to sit down for that person to open up to you. You know, don't make any judgments, you know, because I'm pretty sure you're going through your own issues that you're dealing with. Yeah. But I feel like it's beautiful when a man is willing to open up to a woman. Oh, yeah. You know, it takes a lot for a man to open up to a woman. I feel like when a man open up to a woman, especially opening up into his deep trauma, I feel like he feels so comfortable with that woman that he can release. You know what I'm saying? Because men need to feel comfortable that they can release the things that they're feeling inside. Say what I found the most comfortable part of me in being with a woman. Mm-hmm. And I speak of intimacy. I'm not talking about a lot of people think intimacy as sex. Right. It's not. Right. It's at that moment, the most comfortable position I have ever been in with a woman had nothing to do with sex. It was the fact that she allowed me to lay my head on her chest and she rubbed my head. Right. That right there, man, if I'm telling you. Right. So have you ever found a woman, you know, are you single or you're dating? May I ask? Like, well, actually, I am right now in love with a woman. Okay. I am in love with a woman. So it's up to you if you want to answer the question or not. How did you feel when you first had that woman that you completely opened up to explain to her the things that you was dealing with to make you a better person? Because it's not too many women that men can open up like that. I felt relieved. You felt relieved? I felt relieved because then I knew that no matter the direction of what happened after that, if we be together or not, I had released that. Right. You know, and you know what I'm saying? If you meet a person, not 50-50, but if you meet a person 100, you give it 100, and that person does not reciprocate or is not able to grasp that and they leave, then if you gave 100, then you have nothing to be worried about. Right. Then maybe that person was not meant for you because you gave your 100%. Right. And it still didn't happen. You can't look at it as a bad thing. Right. It's seasonal, you know what I'm saying? Right. All that plays a part so people see and to teach you a lesson. Right. Now, before I go to giving tips, do you feel that some men, is it wrong for some men if they're in a relationship with a woman, do you feel that it's wrong for a man that if he found a friend that he can express the things that he feels comfortable expressing, the things that he's feeling inside? Do you think it's wrong by that? Because, you know, a lot of guys have homegirls as good friends. Well, what is the other person to you? What you mean? Like, the person that you're dealing with. It's just a friend. Like, say for instance, if you had a good close friend that you felt comfortable of
expressing things to her that you never expressed to the person that you're with. Because sometimes,
if I can't express it to my woman, I ain't gonna feel comfortable expressing it to another woman.
Right.
I'm not gonna feel, that's just me. Now some people are different, but if I can't express it to her, I'm not gonna feel comfortable.
Well, maybe she don't give you that, because a lot of times people, that's just like if you go to your homeboy or your homegirl.
No, that's not my homeboy.
Right.
I can express it to him.
Right.
How I feel. Because, that's a man, you know what I'm saying? You want a point of view from a man, you know what I'm saying? And not to say that a woman's point of view is not valuable, but you're allowing that person to know something that your woman don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That your woman don't know.
Right.
Now, have I told my woman about it first, then I'm not going to, because I've told her first.
Right. So do you feel comfortable? Do you have enough, homeboys that you feel comfortable that y'all go deep like that?
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of men don't like to open up and talk about stuff
that's
like
about
that.
changing your environment. People hang around. So the only people I hang around are people that I can conversate
on that level
with like that, because that's the only talk I have.
Right.
I don't have time to be talking about no famous celebrities or who Jack did what, who man bigger than this or all that other bullshit. I'm trying to build. So if I can't build with my brothers, then I don't need to be talking to them. It's about
and that's
building.
true.
We live in a time
and that's true. A lot of men need to understand that. Don't be afraid, especially if you feel that you have trust in your homeboys. Don't be afraid to open up that conversation.
Right.
Because a lot of times people need to learn how to open up conversations to get,
wow.
What?
My father is watching, so he said, "That's right, son. No one else should have this." You know what? And not to cut you off, but
no.
I learned a lot from my father in these past couple years, getting to know each other, and the relationship he has with his wife. Man, I sat back and watched that, and that's like, you know what? That's what it is.
Right. It's communication.
That's what it is. That what they have is rare.
Right.
And
I don't mean to cut you off neither, but that's the relationship that me and my husband have.
Oh man, I love y'all relationship. Avery's mom, man, that's my ace.
Because I want him to feel comfortable enough that he can open up to me. Yeah. Because I feel like if he don't tell me the things that he needs from me, I would never know. And that's the relationship that we have. If it's something that I'm slacking in, he's going to let me know that. And if it's something that I'm slacking in, I'm going to let him know that, because I feel like if you feel that person is the person that you want to be with the rest of your life, you have to build up that strength between you two, that y'all have that understanding, that you could feel comfortable. If you walk in, babe, I had a bad day, babe, you can have that. You know what I'm saying? Vulnerable, right? Because I have watched my husband, go through when his mom was in the hospital. I watch him break down. I ask him questions like, hey, how are you feeling right now? Here, as a man, like I read those questions, oh, I'm good, I'm okay. And I tell him, no, you're not okay. Let's talk about it. And he opened up and he talks about it, because, like as men, it's hard for y'all to open up. It's hard for y'all to open up.
It is. It comes with time, it comes with time, maturity.
And it all comes with the person that you're with.
Right. Allowing that. And that's what you want a woman to be able to pull that out.
Right.
I used to run from it.
And a lot of men do run from that.
I used to run from it because it scared me. It scared me, that first heartbreak sometimes be for a man, I know a woman's first heartbreak it's a little different.
Right.
A little different. Man. We measure a whole lot of stuff on that first heartbreak.
Right.
And sometimes it can turn into a monster. Or it can turn into,
and then sometimes you can have your guards up.
Right.
That you just, she could be a good woman in front of you, but you're so hurt from the past.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So, I'm going to give you guys out there some tips, for the men out there that are suffering in silence. I hope these little tips would try to help you, and also it's never too late to try to learn about yourself, get into yourself, You know, especially get into yourself deep. You know, don't look at your age. You know, don't look at that. You know, at that moment, you know, God is trying to tell you it's time for you to start getting into yourself. You know, because you're wondering why your life is going in a direction that it's going in. It's because you're not taking the time out to actually learn about yourself. You know, so we have to start really going deep and really learning about yourself. So the first one, don't expect everyone to get it right away.
Nope. And even if they don't get it, as long as you understand it.
Right.
As long as you, because
Right.
what's for you is for you.
That's right.
You know, and what's
That's
for you ain't for
right.
everybody.
That's right.
Only, like I said, your passion is for you, but your passion is for you. That goes with your passion.
Right.
But your purpose, that's for other people.
Right.
That means them what you're
Right.
able to learn from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's purpose, passion, and purpose.
Right. And then
everybody gonna get it.
right, and that comes to when you learn about yourself and you're true to yourself, it doesn't matter what people think about you because you're being honest with yourself. And that's the biggest key. You got to learn how to be honest with yourself. People are afraid to be honest with themselves. People are afraid to be the person that they know that they are. You know. The second, remind yourself that it's okay to not, and I repeat, not to be okay.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay because you learn the most through your trials and tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you feel like you're not okay, then actually God got you right where He wants you to be. He wants you to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be afraid to learn. Don't look at every situation as if it's bad. Look at what you can learn from it to make sure you don't make that same mistake.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I tell people all the time, you got to learn your weakness. Everybody has weakness in their life.
Yeah.
Once you start learning your weakness, you can understand your life better. Because a lot of times people are not realizing you're bringing a lot of things onto yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You're trapped. Like they say, you are what you eat. You ever said you're trapped what you think about.
Right.
Your mind. That's how powerful the mind is.
Right.
See, like I said, you gotta understand the power. That's why I say research.
Right.
Don't be afraid to read about certain things. A lot of people don't even know what melanin is found. You know what I'm saying? Once you find out what melanin is found, then you look at your skin different. You know, you understand more who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like so when you knowing your father or your mother or going through anything, once you understand that, you know better about who you are.
Right. And the biggest key too, you have to break the curse.
Exactly.
You know, you have to say to yourself, you know, what our parents taught us back in the day, it's not working now. You know, you have to come to realize that those things work then for them, but we're on a whole different level of life.
Yeah. We're dealing with a whole different spirit now.
Right
now, you know, so you gotta understand, like right now, the devil
is working.
Whatever you call the devil, whatever you see as the devil, whatever. You gotta understand that it's bad spirit, good spirit, and bad intentions, good intentions. And everything that happens to you, best believe somewhere you attracted that by your way of thinking about putting yourself in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? And people may not believe that, but it is also true. It is also true.
Right. You know, and I feel like when people don't believe that, I feel like they're really not going deep into their self.
They're afraid to. You know?
Yeah, they're afraid. A lot of people are afraid. That's the biggest key. People are afraid of change.
And fear doesn't even exist. Fear is a state of mind. Fear doesn't even exist. It's not even real. We scare ourselves. We the spook in the room. It's a book called Spook in the Room or whatever. I think it's called Spook in the Room. Or the spook that's still behind the door, something like that. But you know, you gotta understand who exactly what resides inside of this flesh that you hold. That's right. You know, because I'm gonna let y'all guys know. I told my homegirls last night, and my homegirl said this morning. I was afraid. It's not that I'm gonna take it back. I wasn't afraid. I was stepping out of my fear. You know, I do my podcast all the time, but I'm always doing it by myself.
And this is the first time that I have actually had a guest, which, I wanted to take it to that level. But in my fear, sometimes, you're afraid to step out on faith. And I got that encouragement this morning, like, you got this, and it feels so good. I knew the energy was going to be good between us, but it was just a fact of me having a guest next to me. And I feel like this was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. I hope people got something out of it.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not an expert. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
Just
This is our opinion.
Right. Transparent with my thoughts. And, you know what I'm saying? Just being real of how I deal with certain things and how I see life. This is not I ain't been to college for this.
Right, exactly.
I haven't been but I lived it. So those was
my experience. Right. And that's the biggest thing about my podcast is that, the things that I speak on is the things that I have experienced in my life. I'm not going to speak on things that's not true, because I feel like the things that I speak on, I feel like a lot of people are going through that. A lot of people wishing that they can speak on it. A lot of times people are afraid to speak on things how they feel, because people feel like things that you speak on, you're telling people your business, but that's not true. Y'all don't know my private life, so don't feel like the things that you need to express, at that moment, you might have that thought. Use your Facebook, use your platform to express, but when you express it in a positive way, so someone else that's dealing with that issue, they can get some good advice. Don't speak on things in a negative way on your page, because that's when you feed into negative comments.
It's enough negativity in the world
right now.
Right.
It is,
what I'm saying. The thing about it is, like I say, always, what I'm saying, just allow yourself to talk to God, man. Talk to the Most High,
Right.
what I'm saying? Let Him know, because man can't fix you.
Can't.
Because He didn't create you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man can't fix you because He didn't create you.
Right.
We have doctors and all that, but those are those are just people that are being taught to
learn
medicine,
right,
and understand how the body works, but they can't fix you like God can fix you. You know what I'm saying? It's see, man can fix the flesh.
Right.
They can try to fix the flesh, but God can fix the spirit.
That's right.
He can fix the spirit. So because
you want to have a beautiful spirit. You want to have a beautiful soul.
Right.
So when God do decide to say, hey, your time is up on this earth, you want to at least leave a beautiful, spirit, a beautiful soul. You want people to talk on you in a beautiful way.
Well, even when you say God, you understand that at the same time, you are made in His image. That's what they say, image and likeness. So, like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. If you're made in the image of God, then you have those God-like qualities. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. You're able to create because you can make things happen with your hands and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have God-like. You're not the most high.
Right.
But you have God-like qualities because He lives in you.
Right. And you
so you understand that. So we and it's deeper than religion. It's deeper than religion. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's deeper than religion.
It is. But we're not gonna go on that because I feel.
Yeah.
But the last thing, start by taking small steps when reaching out. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone. Right. Start off being, small steps of reaching out. And before I end everything, I want you to, since we had this topic, and I know you can just spit it, I need you to spit one for us.
Okay. Oh, wait, like I said earlier, about the, when I talked about the young and how that happens. So, like we have this, 50 years, me and you were born into hip hop, right?
Right.
We were born into hip hop, right? So, in 50 years of hip hop, you would think that it has progressed and evolved into a more positive thing, because that's how it started off. So this poem right here is called Mouse Ain't Gotta Crack His Whip No More. And it goes like this. Let me sit this down.
I'm gonna get my mic, y'all, so it's closer. It's
Sit this right here.
sit it right
I
there.
ain't gotta use the microphone. I'm gonna speak loud enough. My voice carries. I thank God. I sound like my father. I would say he sound like me, but you know, hey. Since he listening, I sound like my father. Well, it's called Mouse Ain't Gotta Crack His Whip. What if I told you that what was once a promising source of communication, that ghetto creation combination of rhythm, rhyme, beats, and poetry that told our stories and inspired us to believe that it would take a nation of millions to hold us back, that respect yourself, proud to be black, that started in the barrels of New York City with East, West, North, South, and far beyond that. I'm talking about the hip-hop rap music has been infiltrated. And by me speaking on this, some may say that I'm hating, but to them I say, think free, speak free, and be free. Because Miles ain't got to crack his whip no more. You see, black males are being blackmailed to blackmail other black males, and while black males are feeling packed jail, black babies are being raised with no father. It was strange that mainstream said hip-hop is evolving. But I see no problem solving, only revolving doors from cop cars to jail cells to court system, then prison. Man, listen. I don't know if you can see it, but I know you feel it. See, this world is filled with bad spirits. Can't close your ears, so I know that you hear it. Those are demons and devils that are cheering. Because righteousness is slowly disappearing. And the lust for money has got our young children acting incoherent to what's really going on. Only regurgitating lyrical sentiments they heard mumbling and rap songs. So while mama sings along word for word, seeing your daughter in the backseat, hands in the air, holler, city girl. But not fully aware of what the city really does to little girls who act up, getting smacked up. It's only a portion. You see, there's sex traffickers, pregnancies, and abortion. And government assistance is just another form of blackmail extortion. Leaving a child raised on child support, now to raise their child on child support because her daddy and baby daddy figured that diamond grills and the latest Jordans are more important than giving their child support. Victims of poverty's placement. Got them placing their goals and ambition in the kitchen, cooking up crack with the oozy, bad and bougie on the menu, but when served on a plate of fabricated dreams, only mean that the cycle will continue. And it's traveling contagiously through radio waves, manipulating weak-minded thoughts and ways. And they be looking at me like, Poetic Nature, what the hell does this new hip-hop music have to do with being a slave? I said, well, let me put it to you this way. You see, life and death can be spoke with the power of the tongue. So imagine what's being done when you put it to the kick of a drum, which is the most powerful instrument. It is connected to your spirit. That's why you move when you hear it. Take away the beat, and that's how you move to the lyrics. See, it's been proved in scientific theory that the universe reacts to energies, frequencies, and vibrations. So when you speak words of self-destruction into existence without knowing the power of manifestation, then what are you creating? Besides the lost generation, trying to reenact the latest hit single from a new millennium Sambo Bojangles, dancing to the rhythm of their own demise, stacks of paper to their ears so they're blinded by the illustrious dollar sign, while the real design remains foreign to their mind. And killing their own kind is just another rhyme that they love to spit. But KRS once said, he said, if hip-hop has the ability to corrupt the young mind, it also has the ability to uplift it. So again, I say, think free, speak free, then be free. Because Mouse ain't got to crack his whip no more.
There you have it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope, and I know, see, changing my words.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that we have touched someone today. And I want to thank you for coming on. And we will come on again and talk about what?
And hello, my beautiful people. Make sure y'all go and like this page, this podcast. Hello, my beautiful peeps, with the lovely, phenomenal host, Miss Keisha Mason Taylor. I tell you, this is it's you know what, Keisha, it will only get bigger for you. You know,
Thank
it will only
you.
get bigger
Thank
for
you.
You gotta,
I really
you gotta
appreciate
think that. You
that.
gotta speak that over yourself.
Right,
you know
right.
what
And
I'm
I spoke that.
saying?
I
Yes.
spoke that, you know, because I am going to take this podcast to the next level.
Right, that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, just it's because you have a natural gift to your gift is natural to interaction.
Thank
You
you.
know how to interact with people. You know what I'm saying? In a light type of, you have a bubbly type of aura about yourself.
Thank you.
That is
That
drawing.
means a lot.
Yeah,
that means a lot.
Right, like
You know, and that's another thing people need to understand. You need to give people their flowers while they're living.
Right, you do.
You know, let people know, you know, what part they play in your life, that, you know, that they lift you up. And that's beautiful that, you know, because that's one thing that I want to leave behind. If anything, you know, it's time for me to go to heaven, that I want to leave a good impact on someone, you know, some people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think by me doing this podcast, I feel like, you know, I am touching a lot of people out there, because I get so many people come up to me that I don't even know and appreciate my podcast.
And the thing about that is too, like this, I'm gonna tell you, by you doing this, what you love to do, you are having your heaven here. You're having your heaven right now.
See, I didn't look at it.
Yeah. You're having your heaven right now, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So before I go, let me burn my sage. And like I always tell y'all guys before I end my podcast, for the ones out there, if you feel like your life is so hard right now, your back is against the wall, whatever you do, don't give up on life. Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. You know, find someone that you can talk to. You know, if you feel like you need to step away from life, you know, check yourself in. Go to a hotel. Just take care of your mental. Please do. And then for, you know, my biggest thing to everybody out there, give someone a hug out there. Everybody deserves a hug.
Hug a tree, damn it.
Right.
Because it was such a thing.
Right, because it was so crazy. I went in Walmart Thursday, and they had one of the workers that went up to the guy, and she said, "Oh, I just need a hug." And I tapped him, and I said, "See, everybody needs a hug. You just don't know what people go through in life, so just give someone a hug."
Yeah.
You have anything to say before we close it?
Well, to everybody, and not just me, to everybody that's suffering silence.
Correct.
Talk to the Most High.
Right.
It's the reason people have prayer rooms and stuff like that, because you're able to release some things. You're able to allow yourself to come out of that suffering. Suffering, suffering may last for morning. I forgot how the saying goes. I mean, I'm not as well versed in the church Bible as I should be. But suffering may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
That's right.
You see how they just came to me?
See how it came to you? God come through you.
Right, yeah.
You know, God come through you.
Joy comes in the morning.
Right,
so, you may endure suffering for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Right. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit that share button. Please hit that like button. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Peace, love, and
Peace
happiness.
out to my beautiful peeps.